Hi, beautiful souls. So, really funny. I have always so many things to share because I'm supposed to be sharing stuff like 10 times a day, and life just keeps happening over here. So, the divine forgives me. I hope you guys will too. Anyways, the other day after I posted that really dark video, for those of you that saw it, it's still there. It's just unlisted now because the divine said the people that needed to see it saw it. Like in the grand scheme of the why it was right now created, and so I was able to unlist it. They said I wasn't able to delete it, but unlist it. But I lost 2 subscribers, and I expected that. And funnily enough, thankfully, I didn't know when I first started to become very psychic that one of my most powerful gifts is prophecy. And so, here I kept seeing things and thinking they were in the present, right? And I was just really predicting things like for now or for future timelines, etc., etc., etc. Well, I stumbled across a video of mine because the divine said, here, start with this. Go back through your Google Drive to the oldest video that you created and yet to post. Because, like, when I tell you guys I've got lots, I mean, like, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of me creating stuff already that, like, just needed to be edited or just, like, whatever. And then life happened and it got put on the back burner. I promise that now the way that I launch things, like, everything happens in divine timing. It sounds like an excuse for my procrastination. At least that's where I, deliberated on it for quite a bit when I came to that awareness. Everything has a purpose. Everything. And so, it'll all come out in the time that it's meant to. But anyways, so I went back and it's not the oldest one, but while I was doing that research to see what what they wanted me. So what I'm going to be sharing, what they really want me to explain is information on the blue ray and starseeds that resonate with that ray. Of course, you can resonate with more than one, like my twin flame and I, we're 7th ray masters. We're violet ray masters, which means that in previous incarnations, as ascended master souls, we have mastered the energies of the first 3 rays at least that I know of, right? Anyways, yeah, going off tangent again a little bit there. But I stumbled across a video of myself, or a voice recording, one of the two, of myself from several years ago, when I lost my very first subscriber, when I hardly wasn't even trying to make this channel, right? And I was like, oh, I lost a subscriber because of that video. And then it was the divine channeling through me about why. Because, yeah, a lot of people are just haters, etc., right, that watch. And so I swear half of the purpose when the divine has me just portray that disgusting level. It looks like I, have a very low level of consciousness myself when I watch the videos back, but it's because they need me to resonate with specific energies, right, and trigger specific energies, and I did, and I triggered 2 people to go away, and that's perfect because the energies of what I'm building here on this channel are very specific, and the divine wants to eliminate as much trash, as possible. But then as I'm sitting here channeling all this information on the videos that I'm going to be sharing later on and working on editing the readings that I did for you guys today, right away, because of the fact that I just came to the conscious psychic awareness, because of all the ghosty stuff that happened, that my twin flame had his mediumship gifts come online. And what I didn't realize before, even though, and I'll share this in a separate video to make it more specific, but just blab all this stuff at you guys. That's what I do here on this channel, Love, Light, and Lunacy. So the twins always have, similar gifts, like very similar, except for each will have one, and they're most prominent typically, or one of the strongest, that is different than the other. Like one will have one more prominent and one will have a different kind of prominent gift. And so I actually was raised by a family of mediums in this earthly incarnation. Like my father, who is a square, who, discredits the majority of my path except for what his narcissistic mind believes to be true, which is about ghosts. So he spoke to spirits as even a young adult, his whole life, and so did his 10 brothers and sisters. And so I always knew that was something that was run in my family. And so when I awoke into my spiritual gifts, my mediumship came online pretty quick, like so much so that I remember actually even like asking my guides, like, I I'm not ready to like see anything scary. Like, don't scare me. Don't let anyone else startle me or scare me. No scaring, you know? I don't want any of that shit. And then that's when they taught me that like ghosts, in the way that like people have portrayed them in like Hollywood and etc., they don't exist like that. That's not what happens when people like leave this dimension and go into the higher dimensions. And so now that the ascended masters have trained me personally on all of that understanding, right? When I see people, like even famous Hollywood type mediums who are just fucking lying to people, it makes me so upset, because spirits aren't like their earthly selves. When people die, that's they don't just become this fucking torn spirit. I mean, yes, there are things that can happen multidimensionally, you know, with higher entity level stuff. There's, you know, there are some things that can happen within the dimensions, whatever. I'm not going to say that it doesn't exist, but that's not how it works. Every single human who dies, who transitions really just into the non-physical, it's not death. Their soul, because it's infinite, immediately goes back to its source vibration. So there's no pain or sorrow or human third dimensional dense energies in the higher dimensions. This is the lowest, densest dimension. And so that's why we have physical bodies that deteriorate on the physical plane. So that's the whole purpose of all of this blab video, though, is that, so for those of you, you know, because everybody's awakening, it's a global awakening, right? Everybody just in varying degrees. And so for those of you that are now coming online and you're seeing these advertised mediums, be very careful of where you guys are going for mediums readings. There's a member of my soul collective. When I first was chasing my false twin, she's his karmic soulmate, and her twin flame passed away, and he and I have a very, very strong soul connection. Never really understood why we had a very, you know, brief fleeting friendship. That was a very, very strong connection, though, and so there was a lot of trust there, but you know, not anything that was really conscious on the third dimensional level. And so when he passed and he started to communicate with me lots, I went to her and I said, do you want to talk to him? And she said, oh, thanks, I have a medium. And she said, like, I should probably just stick with it. But then, like, when she told me what she was getting through, I'm like, that's not at all what, and that's not what he's saying. It wasn't even him. Like, she hasn't even been talking to her dead boyfriend all of this time. I'm not going to say that medium probably hasn't pulled through a couple of real things, but like, she's been paying a medium for years that's lying to her and like isn't channeling the right stuff. And so for the mediums that are like, well, no, I see ghosts as whatever, then you should expand your consciousness. You probably tapped into level 1 medium and then stayed there, because you allowed your ego to control you and you used those gifts to market things. Now, as somebody with a YouTube channel, you know, you're probably thinking, hypocrite. No, the divine led my channel, which is why I do everything divinely led. And so it's a little bit different. But yeah, like people who think that they're talking to like, say like a spirit that's haunting somebody, for example, that's not what's happening. So what is 99% of times happening in those situations is that you have a low, it's like low vibrational, low on the totem pole, negative spirit, not even spirit so much as entity, energy, like it is a negative entity, that has the ability to manipulate energy. And so all it's doing is playing off of your own consciousness, what you know to be true, what you know to be true about maybe those people, what you know to be true about ghosts, you know, all of the things, because they are still a higher dimensional being than you in your human body, but not of your soul. And so, you know, they will portray as spirits, as whatever. It's all just essentially to steal your light and keep you scared and in a fear vibration where they can continuously feed off you. Small little tip, that's exactly what the powers that be have been doing to every one of you and me your whole lives. Keeping you stupid and powerless so they could draw all your power. That's that whole rich getting richer, evil getting eviler kind of thing, you know? So, protect yourselves. Mediums in the sense of like, oh my god, my ghost grandma, she's haunting the house now because she's got unfinished business. That's not fucking happening. You probably got something in there, because like when there's, you know, horrible deaths, incidents, etc., energy is created, right? Negative energy will fester and stuff. And so that's what will hang around in those areas and then portray as whatever ghosts, whatever, to manipulate the human minds. Just a little bit of tidbit information for you guys. But to quickly, I guess, since it'll probably be a while before I make that at the video, sum up the point about twin flames and their gifts, where I was going with this, I thought I'd be the more powerful medium. I'm actually very, very happy that that's not true. My twin flame is going to be seeing a lot more ghosty things than me. I didn't really quite understand it, but they just explained it to me today. And so something about my prophetic gifts being more powerful than his ability to see into the future, but his ability to portray energies deeper right here, right now, I guess is where our union balance kind of comes from, right? It's kind of cool. But like, I've been seeing some ghosty shit, and I know like ghost shit doesn't exist, which means that now that he's tapped in, there's must be something going on in the higher dimensions. Like, they know that we're both tapped in now. So they're coming at both of us 111 on the clock. Anyways, tidbit of little information and some love for you guys. Keep following. And if you guys aren't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I'm still trying to get to 1,000 so that I can continuously make more and more and more and more and more content. Love you, beautiful soul.